Hey, y'all, what's going on? Dr. in the house. I'm stuck in traffic. So, leadership to a leader may have a different definition than it does for their troops or soldiers, so to speak. So, it really is quintessential to have the right leader. So, I work in higher education, and our leaders are either campus deans, deans of academic affairs, or an institutional president, and even vice presidents of various different departments throughout my institution, handling all the different things that a campus needs to address, such as accreditation, scholarship, funding, student services, success. So again, leadership should have a very clear vision statement in accordance with their roles and responsibilities as a leader. Now, having been a soldier or one of the troops for so many years, I can say that I feel as if I may have a perceived idea of leadership in the past, where now I've adopted some of these qualities that I want to see as a leader in my current position as an academic leader. So I can say, even as a teacher, I looked to my principal for guidance. As a school psychologist, I looked to the director of special services for that district for guidance. As a lead instructor to an academic and ADHD center, I looked to the owners and the directors for leadership. One of these things that needs to be done, I think, at every level, is having a leader write out their vision or mission statement. And I say vision or mission statement because these could be two different things. The mission statement for a position often is what you are going to do, and you time stamp that with, maybe even end dates or a strategic plan. Like, for example, a 2025 plan for the position as Dean of Academic Affairs is ... That is my mission. My vision statement could be a little bit more broad. It could include all the things that you value as a leader, which could be a number of things: diversity, quality of academic instruction. It could be everything from I want student success to look like this. So my vision is to see all students involved in community service or engaged in somehow with the community, or making a difference and having an outcome from that. So the vision statement, again, is a little bit more broad, but it has your values as a leader embedded within that statement. So again, just to clarify, this is not a video on how to be the best leader. It's more a video on what leadership looks like. It's perceived as different from many different angles. So you could be on the board of trustees and not quite know what's going on with the troops on the ground, so to speak, to use a military metaphor. But the truth is that that's also very important. You're looking at the state of affairs of the world. You are a national leader. You need to know what some of your troops are thinking, and sometimes you may not get that direct answer from the second in charge or the third in charge, or at a different level you might get a different response. What I think is absolutely important, for a leader, is to ask your troops, give them and provide them an open space to have discussions on how to improve. You're never going to improve upon that which you do unless you get the correct feedback. You can get feedback, in a meeting, but quite frankly, most people will be very afraid to give you feedback that is non-directive, explicit, and details the exact problems that those people are experiencing. So, my idea of getting that feedback is to meet one-on-one. I'm a very relational person. I develop relationships with my colleagues, with my students, with my leaders, and with the outside community. And so what's very important to me, and what we're looking at, is a work in progress. We all need to improve. We all have areas of strengths and weaknesses, and areas that we need to improve upon we may not see. It may take our subordinates, our colleagues, and hopefully our leaders to identify these areas of improvement so that we can make the whole collective idea of working together that much better. All right, so I said the big C word, collective. Now I'm going to have to describe a little bit about why I think collective work environments are absolutely essential to the change that we need to see in even American public schools and businesses and small businesses, corporations, government. You may say, what does that mean? Does that mean we throw out capitalism and become the socialist society? Absolutely not. If you look at the history of a collective society, it's working together to improve and reach a goal through your mission. This is, in fact, almost every business, school, government in the United States today. So why are we not adopting our mission statements based off of a collective value system? Well, it's somewhat skewed towards a business model where we subscribe to those that are in charge and directing policy and their value systems. So I feel that one way to introduce this concept into any kind of organization or institution, school, government, business, is to require your board of trustees to step up to the plate and do that which they ask their troops to do. So this includes people on higher level executive, C class and above. This is people at the board of trustees level who are basically driving the ship. This, in fact, includes people who the troops may never meet. I've been fortunate to be a faculty council chair of 80 faculty in Chicago, Illinois. And I'll say that was the most difficult, yet most rewarding and eye-opening and fulfilling position I think I've ever had in my life. I know that's kind of a big one, but it really was. And so that year, which was just last year, up until 2017, I was able to meet the Board of Trustees. I was able to make appointments with any faculty in response to any concerns people may have had, as well as any new ideas or collaborations, and therefore I felt like it was a very important position. I take on leadership in a way that may be unique to me, but I think is essential to any kind of growth of an individual. So for me, I'm not going to grow as a person in society on an everyday basis unless I improve upon that which is either hindering me from good relationships or not allowing me to function on a daily basis. What I'm saying is I take leadership on a different level. When it comes to a community, I want to be in the mix, knowing what's going on. I want to know what is going on with different initiatives. I don't want to be surprised by some new initiative that came across without my purview or without even looking at it. So I see that in a sense where a institution or an organization may grow too big to actually have somebody in the cabinet or the C class who may not see what the vision of their troops are. And this is where the problem occurs. There needs to be people who are in that position. In my situation, it was faculty council chair, having met with my deans on a regular basis, the campus president, and the CAO, Chief Academic Officer, as well as the faculty and staff and everybody that is the cog in the wheel to collectively bring those things together. That was making it a very unique position. So I want to take that forward from my own experiences to continue that practice, because I felt like that was absolutely effective. It wasn't more work, it was good work. It was smart work, it was attentive, it was intentional, and it produced results. And in the end, it was all about outcomes. So I felt as if my faculty produced the outcomes that we set out to achieve. Having set the goals in the beginning of the year, having progress monitored throughout the year, and at the very tail end, having produced the outcomes that a campus needs. So as I'm talking about my faculty council chair experience, I do want to develop a conversation, and I want to open that discussion to you. I want to see what you feel about how your sense of leadership fits in the role of your organization. Does it align to your mission statement, the values that your organization looks to? Or does it look like maybe you're not a good fit, and maybe your leadership style fits in a better or a different type of organization? So this is the conversation I'm planting the seed with today, but I will follow this up with part 2 to leadership in Dr. E in the House in future editions.